And gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning to your Faith.
All right.
And the viewers.
Well, I think first of all, Angelo, before we come to you, so when we're looking at the PAC right now and where things currently stand, we're going to deliberate more in terms of the manifesto and some of its offerings. Where are you guys sitting currently, following previously the IEC barring you guys from participating in the elections simply because of the leadership issue that you guys had within the party?
We remain in a bit of a fix with the IEC. The IEC has temporarily registered us.
What does temporarily mean? Does that mean that you guys are in pencil or pen?
It means that they are waiting for the court decision around issues of registering us properly.
Well, of course, Angela, when we're looking at what's currently been transpiring, August the 3rd, it's June now, July, August the 3rd is in less than 2 months' time. Will they be ready in time for the actual local government elections, and where things are currently sitting, where they've got even one seat in parliament? Do South Africans even resonate with the ideologies of the PAC?
Well, firstly, as Mr. Clark has pointed out, there are these internal leadership issues. But the party of Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe is a party that I think has resonated with South Africans at the municipal level, because they certainly have several councillors in various municipalities. But the force that was the PAC in people's memory in the 1970s and in the 1980s is certainly no longer there, and that's partly because of the long trajectory since the end of apartheid in 1994 and the party's internal dynamics. That being said, though, I think if the PAC could sort out its internal dynamics, and it would have to do so quite quickly, as you pointed out, the election is soon, this is a moment in South Africa where you would imagine Pan-Africanism would be a very, very sort of ripe call for people to come towards it, because this is the space in which younger people and all sorts of organizations and civic organizations across South Africa want to re-articulate blackness, want to re-articulate African identity. There is a real hunger for connecting with ideas with the rest of the continent. So Pan-Africanism could see a resurgence in the 21st century, and the Pan-Africanist Congress needs to take, shall we say, advantage of that. But that does mean sorting out whatever its internal dynamics are sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, you guys are known as the champions of land reform. We're going through the process of the land redistributions, looking at claims, etc. That was supposed to be your champion. Nowadays, we hear land, and tell me which political party we associate land with. I want you to EFF, right?
No,
but no, the thing is, when you guys are dealing with your internal issues, it's very hard to articulate your ideologies to the rest of the South African community, because what's going on? We know you for your leadership squabbles rather than your ideology. So how then do we start turning that around?
I must say that on our part, maybe it's been our marketing that has failed us. We sit here feeling that we are the most successful party in the country. Hence,
you feel like you're the most successful.
20 years ago, when you talked about land, it was a foreign issue, it was a non-issue. Look at it today. It's in the center of our conversation in the country.
But are you championing that conversation, so that's the question.
We are championing it. That's why, for us, it's not really about us as individuals, even about us as a party, but it's about the nation. The nation is having a right conversation, and that conversation was led and continues to be led by the PAC.
And of course, I'm looking at the manifesto, some of the outcomes of your manifesto. I was taking a look at it. I mean, champion issues around quality service delivery, which will be a big talking point, especially ahead of the local government elections. You're speaking about a very pertinent one. We're in June. It's June now. We're looking at young people and the voice of the youth. And you guys mentioned that we need to start addressing effectively challenges facing young people. How are you going to do so?
I think it's pertinent to highlight a very important issue that keep on rising in the public arena, is that conflict are uniquely PAC property. That is not true. Look around the country. How many potential councillors have died in other parties in the past couple of months? Just look at KwaZulu-Natal alone. Look at Mpumalanga. Look at Northwest. There is only one party that has a serious problem of conflict, and their bodies underground as we talk. And there is no body underground of the PAC. We are a party that deals with ideas. We do not shy away from frank debate. We don't shy away from healthy confrontation.
Then tell me about the youth ideas that you guys are going to be championing, specifically.
Basically, the first idea is that as a people, we have lost a cultural direction.
Okay.
Once you lose your compass, once you lose a value system, then you go haywire. And you'll ask me what that has to do with local municipality. Is that the local municipality is in direct touch of the people. Substance abuse is the direct results of the absence of recreation facilities and recreation program at the right place for young people. It's the failure of creating hope that young people have a future. Then they indulge on things that are unhealthy. Secondly, the issue of that is still within the incumbents of municipality, the social welfare.
Yeah.
As a country, we have not invested on mental health. We have taken physical health as the only health that exists. In fact, if you show sign of mental health, you are seen as a reject. And as a PAC, we see mental health as a center of our solution. And the work of social workers become pertinent in community building.
It almost appears as though you want to put the humanity back into politics and understand that politics is about the people. Right ideologies there, Angelo, in fact, commendable ideologies, especially when you're touching on a basic issue such as mental health. Huge problem in the South African context, but are they resourced enough to be able to carry out some of those ideologies?
Well, if you're not the party of government, it is much more difficult to actually, implement policies. But what I think Pan-Africanist Congress or any smaller party that is not in government will be judged on by the people who voted for their councillors. So where you have a councillor in a ward, the people who live in that ward will judge that PAC councillor on their record over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And if that record is, shall we say, impressive enough, word of mouth spreads and people in neighbouring wards, people elsewhere, might start voting for the party. And this is, I think, a crucial element that we've learned from the National Freedom Party, that the work you do on the ground, in addition to the ideas that you use to pull on people, to appeal to them, those are significant local politics levels, because it is about what the ward councillor does in their 5-year tenure, how the community feels about that delivery, even if it's the smaller kind that is not necessarily a larger government program, that can be built on. Because I think it's not just enough for people in local government elections that there are ideas. Ideas are certainly important, and these are very good ideas, but people also want to see what has your councillor done since he or she has been elected.
Well, speaking about that, what has the various councillors and the ward councillors, we're speaking about unemployment, a big issue, 26.7%. That's where the figures currently stand. We saw the GDP figures that got released. What's going to be done to curb unemployment?
We pride ourselves with focus on communities, community engagement.
Yeah.
The biggest crisis we have in this country is that there is no lack of work. What lacks is its opportunity for payment. And the work in this country is so much, and the financial muscle has been monopolized through the tender system. As the party, we see that system as the biggest challenge we have.
So do you want to get rid of the tendering system?
The tendering system at local municipalities, there are things that you cannot avoid. Special things like an IT system. You don't build an IT system every day in a municipality, but you collect refuge every day in a municipality. That function will never go away. So why do you outsource what is your core business? We got a situation where sourcing from suppliers have gone out of hand. You'll see in places like Madibeng where there is water pipes, but because Friends has to bring a truck of water, he has a tanker that can bring water, then water is switched off and a tanker is brought in.
So in other words, on the grassroots levels, we need to be able to start tackling those issues that are faced by the poor and the vulnerable. So of course, we've spoken about youth unemployment. We've spoken about the issue around employment in general. Now looking at the service delivery context of them, when we're talking about resourcing the PAC, but also getting rid of the leadership squabbles, do they have a fair chance come August the 3rd?
Well, this depends entirely again on how people read the record of their councillors in the areas where they have councillors and how they read the promissory record, because I think you cannot build a political campaign simply on the failures of the governing party. So, and whatever the governing party is, because they're different in different parts of this country. So overwhelmingly ANC, but again, there are DA communities and there are NFP communities, there are IFP municipalities. So what we're looking at is again, as voters are looking, what has your councillor done at the ward level? What are the promises being made? What will you do that will meet the failures that you've pointed out? Because in politics, it's not just about pointing out what has not been done. It's also whether voters trust that you will be able to solve the problem. And it is in the solution that the outline is absolutely essential.
I want to stop you there on solving the
parties.
problem. Are you guys going to solve your issues around leadership before August the 3rd? Because come August the 3rd, you guys might just be excluded and then you don't even have a ballot box.
We would have sorted them out. There's a process in place to sort those issues out.
August the 3rd, so you're going to have those issues cleaned out?
But I think I must sort out something.
Yes.
The PAC does not have a leadership problem. We have put some people into disciplinary process. Unfortunately, one of them was the president. And most parties are afraid of dealing with their president when they misbehave. We value our value system more than performance, more than status.
Yeah.
So when you get out of line, we deal with you. So it comes to the question that you ask. Are we going to be able to deliver to the communities? If any of our people that have been deployed to us, from us, if they misbehave, we will
Deal with them effectively.
We'll put our foot down on discipline. We don't compromise.
All right. Well, that's where we have to leave our conversation this morning. They're going to put their foot down. They're not going to compromise. Angelo, so thank you so much for joining us this morning. Of course, August the 3rd, that is exactly when it is that you get to have the power, South Africa, to make that vote. Speaking to the Deputy President of the Pan-Africanist Congress, as well as ENC's political commentator, Angelo Fick.